Hello everybody and welcome back to Broken Brain. My apologies for not uploading video for a few days. I was dealing with something and now we're through that and we're back to talk about something I'm excited and fearful for, and that is creator Bill Lawrence confirms that they're definitely going to be doing a Scrubs reboot. Now, I absolutely love Scrubs. I love it. It's hilarious. I still watch it all the time. I will say this caveat. The versions you can see online, like on Hulu and other streaming services, are different. And let me explain. Bill Lawrence and Zach Braff did an amazing job when it aired, picking and selecting the music. So when I watched these on a streaming service, they did not secure the musical rights for the streaming side of this when the show was created because streaming services didn't exist. And so they've had to replace them. And even though I don't know specifically what song is missing, I know it's the wrong song. And this happens at least once per episode. It seems you're like, oh, that's not the right song. I don't know what it is, but it's not that. So if you really want to experience how amazing the show was, get yourself a set of the DVDs, which is great. You can get them cheap. I've rebought a couple seasons I was missing, lost over the years from a used place, so I've got all my seasons back. But it is definitely different, and the music makes a lot of difference in the tone and the feeling, and just adds so much to it. And it's best to watch it in its original DVD form. I'll say that. Now back to the show. I love the entire run. I even liked medical school. Not very many people did, and I get why they didn't like it because the major characters were really there uh, for a couple episodes. Johnny C was the only one that stayed through the whole series as a professor, and the whole change was kind of odd and it felt weird, just kind of like a cash grab, but it did try to keep it. If I had to say, it is the worst season of Scrubs that exists, but it's not terrible. It's not as bad as everyone thinks it is or said it was. I enjoyed it. I still watch it. It's still funny. And when we get reboots and stuff like that, we always got, okay, what's going to happen? What are we going to see? What are we going to get? Is it going to be good enough? And sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're horrible. And so that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. I want more. Don't get me wrong. Scrubs could have gone for seasons and seasons and seasons, and I still would have watched it, loved it, as long as it stayed good and they stayed true to the characters and being so goofy. The one the one sad thing about this reboot is, unfortunately, if they go through with it like they say they are, we are not going to have Sam Lloyd, who played Ted Buckland, who unfortunately passed away in 2009 at a very young age of 56, I believe, which to me is young. Uh, I'm closer to 56 than I am 26. So, I mean, yeah. Uh, Ted Buckland was such a great character. He was so funny, and I absolutely loved all the stories that revolved around Ted. And it's just, I'm going to miss him in this reboot because we won't have him. He was a great actor. He was phenomenal. And even now, looking back, there's definitely episodes that are cringe to me that I didn't like them when they aired, and I don't like them now. They haven't gotten better on me, but I still love the majority of Scrubs. Um, the weird love triangles and stuff got a little weird in the end, but they were kind of fun and they made it work. And you know, it'd be interesting to see kind of how they do it. But honestly, as much as I would love to see more, I'm very nervous because, I mean, come on. Have we had a really good, successful, what's it been, 14 years? 14 years or so since it ended? And yeah, I mean, that's a big gap. and all these actors have aged and changed and you can get everyone back, that would be great. But it's, will it still have that same magic, that same tone, that same just comedy gold that they just were able to just pump out all the time? I don't know. I hope so. I really do. Because Scrubs is one of my favorite shows up there. It's in my top 10 at least. Because it's just funny. And it's absurd. And people I know are like, oh, well, they shouldn't have said that. That's, you know, that's offensive by today's standards. Be quiet. It's funny. It's comedy. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to push boundaries. It's meant to do weird things. And absolutely, we have to have people come back. Like the Todd has to come back. Absolutely. We have to have every main character come back as best we can. Um, and I think it's only successful if they bring everyone possible back. That's the only way. If you're only going to bring back half of them, it's just going to feel like it's not truly a continuation. It's going to be more like, it's going to feel like a cash grab. But I want to be optimistic because Bill Lawrence is a phenomenal director. He's done amazing work. The cast was just stellar. I don't think anyone else could have played those parts that were cast. They were just wonderful. It was comedic gold. And like I said, the music was just on point. Really, just on point. And I want it to be good. I want it to be amazing. I want it to feel like we just took a quick nap and we got Scrubs again. But 14 years is a big gap to kind of overcome. And I think in my last video I even mentioned it's like Futurama. It's one of my favorite shows too. This newest season is just doesn't feel the same anymore. It just doesn't. But you never know because it's also like shows like American Dad. American Dad didn't get really good until it left Fox and went to TBS and got new writers, a few new writers, and a more creative control was given away by Seth MacFarlane, and a lot of the stuff got really fun. The latest episodes of American Dad are much better than the first several seasons, and I know some people disagree with me on that, but the TBS episode series seasons are much better than the Fox seasons. They just are, and they're hilarious. So there is hope, but we've got to be optimistic as best we can, but we also need to be a bit reserved. But please, Bill Lawrence, pull that magic out like we know you can and make this phenomenal because a lot of us that are Scrubs fans are excited. We're compelled to watch this. We just can't wait. We hope it's better than medical school. It's got to be better than medical school. If you can't pass that bar, don't do it. Just don't. Just leave us with just one bad season in our mouth. Just, we can't handle that taste over again. We just can't. Even though I liked it, it is the worst season. And I did enjoy it on some of the character development and some of that stuff was good. It was interesting, but it just didn't have the humor that the original cast did. It just didn't meld well. And that's the only way I can put it. Just the cast just didn't seem to meld well enough to create that complete air of comedy and humor with serious tones and things like that, like you saw in like MASH. It just didn't. But the other seasons did perfectly well. So here's hoping. So until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.